Rudy Radio presents He Said, She Said, powered by Rude Rangers Entertainment. I'm Noel Epps from Not Just Sports by Noel Epps, and my co-host is Yvonne, the Motivator Man from Determined Women of Destiny. This show explores all types of topics from the male and female perspective. We are going to make you laugh. We may even make you cry. But most of all, we will make you think. So do us a favor. Please like and share this episode with all your friends and family on all social media platforms. We encourage you to be a part of the conversation. So please comment in the chat box below. We are ready to talk about a little bit of a different topic today.
What's the topic?
We are going to discuss the do's and don'ts of parenting.
Oh!
The do's and don'ts of parenting. Now, understand, people, black parents are different from white parents, are different from Hispanic parents, are different from Asian parents. Okay? You got two black parents here. One with some Hispanic blood. Okay? So we are going to give us a real perspective on, and we're different age group now.
Yes.
We're different age group. We grew up on getting your butt kicked. That's how we grew up. I know that's how you grew up. And I definitely know that's how I grew up. Okay? My parents used to whoop the whole blocks behind. Okay?
Well, I know that we're going to step on a few toes. I do know that. And yes, my parents did many things well. And one of them was whipping my butt, because I happen to have been one of those kids we're going to talk about today. So this topic is very close to my heart. And probably I have some soreness to my butt because of it.
Okay, but let me ask you a question before we get started.
Yes.
Do you think getting spankings or your butt whooped, do you think that helped or hurt you?
Well,
as a person?
It didn't put fear in me as far as I'm not going to do that because I'm going to get a spanking. I was like, I'm going to do it and hope I don't get one. See, I'm always the one to defy it. So it all depends on the kid. It all depends on the kid. There's some kids you can raise your voice and you don't even have to lift a hand.
That's my daughter.
See, that's not my daughter.
Okay, so let's get started.
Okay.
You're going to do the don'ts. You're going to start off doing a don't, and I'm going to do a do.
All right.
Okay?
Well, okay. Parents, don't let your children run throughout the grocery store or the mall and then get upset when they bump into someone and they say to your child, say, excuse me. I'm in the store and this little boy is running and he bumps into me. And I said, honey, say, excuse me. His father looks at me and says, he's just a kid. He's old enough to know to say, excuse me.
Oh, man. Oh,
So
man. I would tell you my Jamaica story, but it's a little long. But go ahead.
You should have taught him, excuse me. That's what happens when you accidentally bump into somebody. So do me a favor. I don't care if you got to put your kids on a leash. Keep your children where you can see them and they won't be causing havoc in the store.
Well, see, because of the spankings that we got or threatened to get, we used to get the pre-game speech. Rudy is a very close friend of mine. Rudy grew up with me, so Rudy knows my brothers and myself. And we used to get the pre-game speech as we was talking. Okay? Don't you go in here, don't you ask for nothing.
That's
Don't
right.
you talk to nobody.
That's
Stay
right.
within sight. Do
That's
not
right.
be out of sight. And don't be afraid. Don't think that I'm afraid to whoop your ass right there in the supermarket. That's the pregame speech. Oh, man. We wouldn't ask for nothing. We wouldn't look at nobody, talk to nobody, nothing. People thought we were crazy.
See, I was raised in church, so my mother wasn't so much out in public whipping tail. But when she was in the choir stand, and if you, like, I would be cutting up. I'd be going underneath the seats. I'm talking. I'm slapping hands with somebody. But if I looked up and saw my mother's look, the fear of God froze me. Like, I just chilled. And my mother had this way of catching that skin in the back of your neck. And she'd be sitting there saying, hallelujah. And you know you going to heaven because she was killing you with that pinch. Just pinching you. Just pinching you. So, yeah, I agree. We did get that pregame speech. We did understand what the rules were before we left the house. You know, don't go and when they say, do you want something to eat? It was always a no. It was always a no.
Yep. Yeah. And the other thing that we used to get, and it's frowned upon today. It's frowned upon today. If my mother felt like we was a little bit too rambunctious, we'd sit in the car. She'd go shopping and we'd sit in the car. Crack these windows and sit in the car. It was enough for us to sit in the car for 45 minutes. No radio, no cell phone, nothing. Get a book.
You will go to jail today for that.
You sure will. You will go to jail today.
Listen, I have spent most of my life sitting in the parking lot of Mays, White's, Spears, and the mall. Forget about it. My mother had
a whole entire fact.
That's right. She walk you right out to that car, literally pick you up, toss you in that back seat, slam that door in such a way you wouldn't even say, "Mommy, how long you gonna be in there?"
It wouldn't even be no no questions. There was nothing thought of. You wasn't sitting in the passenger seat, the driver's seat, trying to start the car. You wasn't doing none of that.
That's
right. Crack the windows. She looked back at you, crack the windows. Don't you dare go in there and suffocate.
That's right. That's right. If you pass out, you better revive yourself before I get back here with these items. And please don't go shoe shopping and you've gone to 3 stores and you haven't picked nothing.
Oh man, 3 stores.
You'll be happy if you come out of there barefoot.
3 stores.
Oh yeah.
3 stores. There was no 3 stores for us. It was Shoe Town. It was this place called Shoe Town. And let me tell you something. We was going to Shoe Town, and the flyest sneakers they had in there was Pro Specs. Oh, my aunt used to save me, give me some Pro Cans when I went to Queens. Oh, it was disgusting. My mom didn't care about no sneakers. Lock yourself in the car. Lock yourself in the car. Don't be in here wilding too, because I don't want these, let me just say it, I don't want these white folks in here asking why these kids is in the car. Okay, that was my mother. That was my mother, a whole entire fact. Today, you lock your baby in the car for 4 hours, for an hour, watch what happens.
Jail. You're going to jail.
You can't lock your dog in the car.
You're going straight to jail. So
that's a whole fact.
Don't let your kids run crazy throughout the store without supervision. Do give them the pre-game speech of how they're supposed to act so that everybody else can enjoy themselves in public without your children just making it miserable.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you have a problem reprimanding other people's children?
Absolutely not. On this big blue ball, everybody's my child. I love children. I may do it in a nicer way than some others because I'll be like, honey, you don't want to take that candy. You didn't pay for it. So I'm reprimanding them, but they know I just saved them a butt whipping.
But reprimanding also ain't it's not a verbal or a physical thing. It could be a stare down.
Oh yeah, I'll look at you.
See, I'm good for the stare down reprimand.
Yes,
like,
and
you
if
do
you
something stupid in the supermarket, like bump into my car or run into me, I'm staring you down. You gonna know. Don't mess with him. You gonna know that from the stare down.
and you notice there's some bad kids that'll look back at you, that's when I'll whip my glasses off real quick to let them know I ain't playing with you, kid. I stare better than you.
That's when you say, Mr. Jackson, come get your baby boy. Come get your baby boy. That's what you say. Come get your baby boy. Come get your baby girl. Cause she out here acting grown.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I don't have a problem with that at all. I've never had a parent call me on it because I think that I do it in such a way. There has been children in the store that have been so bad that I didn't look or even try to reprimand because I knew the only thing I wanted to do was beat them. So I just left them alone.
Okay, so that's through the raising children dues. Raising children dues.
Okay, so another don't is, let's go back to you with the
Hold on,
look.
let me get the do. Let me get the do in first.
Oh, I
Let me
thought
get
you
the do in
did the
first,
do.
then we go back to the don't.
Okay.
No,
I thought
you did the
do.
don't. I'm gonna do the do now.
Okay.
Leave your kids to believe you are absolutely out of your rabbit ass mind. Let your babies believe that you are crazy. I leave my kids to believe that I am absolutely bonkers. My kids don't let me come to the school. You know why? Because I tell my daughter, listen, baby, when your daddy come to the school, he coming to the school to show up and show out. So I'm coming in basketball shorts, chicletas, a white beater, and no drawers on. And that's how I'm coming. Shelby! Nolan! Dante! That's how I'm coming into the building. So you don't want your daddy in this building embarrassing you. Lead your kids to believe that you are absolutely out of your mind.
Did you say chancletas and
Yes,
butt naked, no drawers? No underwear.
And don't ask me how cold it is, because if it's cold, that's even better. I'm coming in looking crazy. I'm putting you on blast in front of your friends.
I agree that your children should be scared. Not scared.
Oh no, a healthy fear.
Listen, I won't say scared because
a healthy fear.
Then people will say, oh my goodness, your kids, you're making them frightened. That's going to mess them up as an adult. Oh, so I won't say a fear, but your children should definitely know if I have to go anywhere in public and I have to say something, oh my God, it's going down.
They should have a healthy fear. They should have a healthy fear. My mother used to say, as soon as the school calls, you are wrong. That's what she used to say to me. I could be in there dying. So what? You wrong. You could be in the nurse's office. So what? You wrong.
Because I was always in trouble in school. When my daughter got in trouble, I tried to be a little bit softer. And there's quite a few Amityville teachers that probably hate me to this day, but so what? I wasn't the one that if the school calls me, you're wrong. But I was the one that if by chance, they have to call me more than once, you're not only wrong, you're dead.
Okay, so you're telling me that if your child acted up in the building and you got a call,
yes,
you went there to defend your child?
No. I want to know what happened first. So since you always have a story, I have a story. There was a gym teacher in the junior high, female. You probably remember, I think her first name was Diane. I forgot what her last name was. But she was there forever. And I got a call at like 3 o'clock that she pushed the gym teacher. I said, excuse me? She pushed the gym teacher. So basically, you're supposed to wait until the next day. I wasn't doing that because if you push the gym teacher, we need to have a discussion. So I go up to the school, and the gym teacher is still there. And of course, she remembers who I am. I was her student. And she says, oh, hi. I said, hi. She pushed you? And she said, well, we can talk about it more. I said, no, we're going to talk about it now. She pushed you? She said, yes. She pushed me out of her way. She pushed you out of her way. Okay, what way were you in that she pushed you? So to make a long story short, my daughter was trying to go out of the door. The teacher was coming in the door, and the teacher took her hand and pushed her above her breast out the way, and my daughter reciprocated with the same action. So at this point, it's like, well, she's an adult and she shouldn't have done that. What teacher takes their hands to push a young woman who's beginning breast in 7th grade above her breast to push her out of the way because she wants to come in the door first?
Yeah, that's wrong. That's
definitely
wrong. But I worked in a school. I worked in a school for 10 years, right? And I have to explain to people, especially parents, that when the school calls you, it's you. Now there's nothing is concrete, nothing's absolute. But most of the time, when the school calls you, your child is in the wrong. Your school don't want to call you. Your school does not want to call you. Be very clear on that. They got so much going on. They do not want to deal with them babies. But before we elaborate on this story, we got to take a break. We'll be back.
Sir, I'm a little uncomfortable with the way we've been having our Monday morning meetings.
A little uncomfortable?
Well, extremely uncomfortable with meeting in your bathroom, sir, while you're in the tub.
Well, I'm wearing a tie.
I can see that, sir.
Over the weekends, I play ball with the kids, do yard work, and play tennis, so by Monday, my muscles are very sore. Spending all day in a hot tub's the only thing that helps.
Have you tried?
Wrapping myself in cabbage leaves? Yes, I have.
Actually, sir, I was thinking of Tiger Balm pain-relieving patches.
Tiger Balm, a little jar with a tiger on it?
Yeah, right. Tiger Balm. It's been around for about 100 years.
Jinkies.
And now Tiger Balm comes in these neat pain relief patches.
Could you hand me that duck there?
You just stick the patch on where it hurts. Same Tiger on the package.
Uh-huh.
And Tiger Balm's pain relief patches are very fast-acting and long-lasting, so we wouldn't have to meet in your bathroom every Monday.
And I'd be less pruny, and your report wouldn't be in the microwave.
What?
I dropped your report in the tub, so I put it in the dryer, but it caught fire, so my wife doused it with water and put it in the microwave. Let me just go grab it.
No, don't get up, sir.
Oops, sorry. Sitting back down.
Long-lasting, fast-acting, pain-relieving Tiger Balm patch. Works where it hurts.
You looking for love? You tired of being lonely? You ready to find that special someone? Rude Rangers TV is introducing an exciting new dating show, and we want you to be a guest. If you want to find that special someone, go to ruderangers.com today and apply for the new dating show that's about to launch. That's ruderangers.com. Hurry up and apply, because believe it or not, your special someone is waiting.
Years ago, the family doctor was someone who came to your home. And while that practice has faded into memory, there is someone who keeps the tradition of personal health care alive. Your local Health Mart pharmacist knows you by name, not by refill number. Stop by your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy and see how the tradition of personal health care lives on. Visit healthmart.com for the location near you. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Round 2. Fight!
Welcome back to He Said, She Said. I'm Yvonne, the motivated man from Determined Women of Destiny. I am here with my crazy co-host. Go ahead. Tell them who you are.
Not Just Sports by Noel Epps every Sunday morning at 9 a.m.
And we are back talking about the do's and don'ts of parenting. And Noel was talking about your kids and school. So Noel, you said that the school doesn't want to call the parent. Now, before you go on, I have to tell you, I don't agree. And, you know, my daughter's grown, so things may have changed. But there was a social worker that every time, and my daughter was really bad in school, but it was a social worker that every time my daughter did something, she's like, oh, you have to come to the school. You have to come to the school. So what I did is I said to her, who's the teacher? Who's the adult? Why do I have to come to the school every time it looks like my daughter's doing something? Reprimand her, give her a punishment, handle that. I'm not coming to the school. I have to work.
Sorry. That's not how it works. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry to tell you. Let me explain something to you parents. Let me explain something to the parents. I did discipline at a high school for 8 years. Okay? Let me tell you something. When your kids are not around you, that's a totally different person.
Oh, we know that.
With you. So when your child is interrupting the learning process, the process of learning, because they really are the minority in the building. If you have a school with 1,000 kids in it, maybe 100 of them are bad kids. They're the minority. You cannot allow the bad child, the disruptive child, I don't want to call them bad, the disruptive child to interrupt the learning process for the other 900 kids. So yes, that kid got to go. That kid got to be an ISS. And if you, and the school's thinking is, if you annoy the parent enough, if you inconvenience the parent enough, they will do something about their child. That's the thinking of the school.
Now, let me tell you, because for 3 years I did the after school program in Amityville Junior High, the middle school. I never had any problems. And the reason why I didn't have any problems, because straight out the gate, they knew what was up. And the one problem I had, I handled it really quickly. And you're right, your kids do leave your home and act a certain way. And when they have teachers that they know that they can get over on, they will definitely do that. You're also right that the bad kids basically are in the minority and they're not trying to deal with that bad kid. You're also right in saying that, oh, well, if we aggravate the parent enough, the parent will do something. Unless your parent is Yvonne the Motivated Man. Because if you aggravate me, everybody's going there.
And this is why I come to the school with the wife beater, chicletas, basketball shorts, no drawers. That's why I come to the school like that. Because guess what? You're only going to inconvenience me once. Oh, you, Shelby, Nolan, Dante, they're going to inconvenience me one time, and it will be the last time. If you want to do it again, it might be less clothing. It might be less clothing and more of an issue. However you want to give it up. That's what we tell my kids. However you want to give it up. But let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. We got to do a don't now. I'm going to do a don't, and you're going to do a do. Okay? So I'm going to do a don't first. Parents, don't buy your kids every cotton picking thing. Your baby got 2 feet, 20 pair of sneakers, straight Epps. The boy or girl ain't been, it's 180 days in school year, they missed 100 of them. Why does this boy got Jordans? Why does he have all the video games? Why does he have the video console? Why do they have everything where they are bad kids? And it's usually the kids who have everything that are bad. The kid that has an even amount of sneakers, a nice amount, not crazy clothes, that kid is usually the well-behaved kid. It's usually the kid that be in school jiggy. Be in school jiggy as hell. Being there acting crazy. Stop buying these babies everything.
Well, I have 2 thoughts on that. Number 1, mind your business how I spend my money on my baby.
No, we're not doing that. We're doing do's and don'ts today.
Okay. Okay. Mind your business how I spend my money on my baby. But I will say to you that if your child is a good kid and they're doing what they're supposed to do, then rewarding them with those jiggy sneakers or that jacket or that game, yeah, do that. Good behavior good behavior gets a reward, and
I agree.
that will make them want to do better. You know, I'm not saying that if you got all A's and you're in high school, you get a Corvette. But what I am saying is, if you do get all A's and there's something that you've been asking for, yeah, you can get that. You can get that. And
I wholeheartedly agree. I'm
Yeah,
not talking about that good kid though. I'm talking about that knucklehead.
well, you know what it is? Their parents may be trying to overcompensate, thinking that if I give, they'll act a
That's
certain
fact.
way. And they're wrong, because that kid becomes a bully. And the kid that you were talking about that has the regular sneakers and maybe the regular clothes, oh, check out those sneakers he got on. Oh, yeah, you ain't got no money because. Now, the thing that I always told my daughter, and I told kids that I taught, and I tell kids now, you're a pauper. You're poor. It's your parents that got the money. So you're teasing another kid because they don't have sneakers, and that kid ain't got no job. You're poor. You're
both broke.
Poor. You're poor.
You're both broke.
Okay, it's your parents that have the money. So if you want to tease a kid about something that they have, then you need to go out and buy something, and then you can talk some junk. But right now, you're broke. You're poor. Close your mouth.
There are parents who enable children to do this. They literally enable them. They're so concerned about what their child looks like because they think it's a reflection of them. I'm not saying don't buy your kids Nikes or don't buy your kids Timberlands or whatever it may be. I'm not saying don't do that. When it becomes excessive, when you're rewarding a child who has poor behavior, who has poor grades, that's when it becomes a problem, because today's child doesn't know how to react to the word no. No, you can't have it. No, you can't do that. They don't know how to react to that word.
That's because most adults don't know how to react to it. And then also,
That's a fact.
you know, and also you have to realize parents sometimes live vicariously through their children. You know, my mom always got me skips, so my kid is gonna have the best sneakers. My mother used to dress me funny, so I'm gonna make sure my child is fly. My mom always pressed my hair in the kitchen. I'm gonna send my daughter to the hairdresser. You know, that type of stuff. And we're living out of our inner child, trying to raise a child that's going to be an adult that we're messing up right now. Like you said,
Yeah, that's the whole fact.
These kids
That's the
don't
whole fact.
understand what no is. No, you cannot have those sneakers. Why can't I have those sneakers? I said no. And I saw a little girl kick her mother's foot that was in a cast because her mother said no, she can have them sneakers. I almost jumped totally out of my skin. I'm serious.
My mother used to say,
I'm like, this woman's foot is broke up here. And you're going to kick her foot over sneakers? What?
my mother used to have us looking nuttier than a payday. You hear me? My mother used to have us looking crazy. But us looking crazy made us creative. It made us creative because we lived in the day and age where you had to have a crease in your pants.
Yes.
Okay? Remember that? You had to have a crease in your pants.
And your shirt?
But here's the problem in the Epps household back in 1982. Here we need this crease in our pants, but we don't have an iron. How are you gonna get an iron? How are you gonna get a crease in your pants without an iron? So here's what we did, because we became creative. We would get our little bit of money, we go buy a can of starch. Remember spray starch?
Yes,
remember
I do.
Spray starch?
I do remember.
And then fold your clothes so you can get the crease in your pants, and then put them under the mattress and sleep on your clothes. You would sleep on your clothes with all that starch in your.
I can't believe that. I can't even believe it. But remember, you know, you had to have a crease. But then your shirts, it was something called, I'm a little bit older than you. So the people that's my age group know this. It's called the cat eye. That's like when you iron your shirt and it still has that wrinkle, though it's iron. It's called the cat eye. My mother would be standing over about, I don't want to see no cat eyes. Now, my mother's eyes are very slanted like cat. And me and my sister would be like, but you don't look in the mirror. Oh my goodness. We were tortured.
So you're out here just snapping on your mama.
Listen, we were behind her back. Shh, don't let her know. But we were tortured. But that's what made us the adults we are now.
It made you creative.
And our parents instill something in us. Get up, do it, and get it done. Now the kids are like, well, Ma, you gonna iron my pants? I'm gonna iron your pants. Seriously? No. All right, we gotta go to break. I can't even talk about this ironing situation no more. So we'll be right back after this message. You're listening to He Said, She Said, powered by Rudy Radio. And we'll be right back.
Here's some sound advice. Don't buy a new car with an old radio. Make sure it's got HD radio. Hear more stations and CD quality sound with no monthly fees. Be sure the car you're buying is fully equipped. Ask your dealer about HD radio. Discover it at hdradio.com.
It's time for your business to make more money, get more clients, and expose itself on a global platform. Rudy Radio has advertising and promotion packages designed to suit all budgets. Hey, you're listening right now? So are lots of other people. Go to rudyradio.com right now, click the Contact Us button, and schedule an appointment with one of our sales associates. They're happy to help you, professional, kind, and courteous, and they're designed to help you succeed. rudyradio.com.
Water is like tears. If you save water, you can save tears. Drops Foundation. Every drop counts.
Hey, the fam, it's your girl, Valentina Balin, the Fitter Woman, host of Muscles and Stilettos and founder of Fitter Woman University. Join us as I share tips, strategies, and personal stories of people who, just like you, decided that it's finally time for change. It's finally time for you. Watch Muscles and Stilettos and join us on our journey to becoming a fitter, healthier, happier you. For more info, visit us at thefitterwoman.com. Be bigger, be fitter, be stronger, be you.
You love chocolate.
Chocolate.
You love M&Ms.
Oh, yes.
But your tastes have grown up, and you're just not wild about super sweet milk chocolate, so you've been avoiding M&Ms.
Yeah.
Well, fear no more.
Huh?
M&M's Dark Chocolate to the rescue.
My heroes.
M&M's Dark Chocolate Candies. Available wherever fine candies are sold.
If you're ready to live your best and blessed life, then you need to check out Win Magazine. That's right, it's a publication of Rude Rangers Entertainment, and it's designed to help you live your best and blessed life. Go to winmagazine.us now to start reading.
Round 3.
And we're back with He Said, She Said. I'm Noel Epps from Not Just Sports by Noel Epps, and my co-host is Yvonne, the Motivator Man from show name.
Determined Women of Destiny. You can catch me every Thursday at 7 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube.
Okay, great. So now we're back and we're going to do the do's and don'ts of raising children. The do's and don'ts of raising children. And you are going to come back to us with a don't, and I'll be back with a do. Okay?
Yep.
So let's do your don'ts.
Okay. My don't is don't act like you don't realize that your children are aggravating, that your children are not well behaved, and that your children need more discipline when you know that they do.
So
You know your kid.
don't act like.
That's right.
Don't act like you don't know that your child need an ass beat. That's basically what you're saying.
That your child is bad. Your child is
okay.
bad.
Acknowledge their poor behavior.
Thank you.
Oh,
You know,
I agree with that.
Can you at least say, oh, I know that Mustafa can be a little bit, so I apologize for his behavior. At least be apologetic. When someone brings your child or, brings your attention to your child's behavior, don't make it seem like, okay, so why are you telling me? Excuse me? This is so bad, child.
Right. Your child is a direct reflection of you.
Not always.
Not always. Say it again?
Not always. Because, listen, I'll tell you why. You can be the best parent in the world. You remember, your children have their own thought pattern. And your child goes out in the street and acts totally different than how you raise your child at home. That's when you step up to the plate and say, oh yeah, you're right. Sunbeam shouldn't have never did that. And I'm going to speak to Sunny when we get home. Okay?
Says Sunbeam should have never did that. No, see, I disagree. Your child is it's a direct reflection of you. If your child, let's say you're a nice, docile parent, and your child is out in these streets acting a fool. They're acting a fool because you're too docile. They're acting a fool because you're too docile. If your kid is out here being very shy and being bullied, it's probably because they're being bullied at home. Your child is a direct reflection of you. I know this. When I see a kid acting a fool, when I see a kid being a good kid, I say, that kid comes from a good home. I say, this bad kid, his parents are absolute lunatics. They spoil him. They don't know how to talk to him. They're too docile. Or, we could go back to a couple of shows, they're probably in a single parent home.
Well, I'll have to disagree with you. And the reason why I disagree with you again is children can be raised well, and they also have their own minds. The thing I will say is that children will show you behaviors to let you know some things that may be going on in their home that not that you need to address, that has to be addressed. Like you said, if a kid is a bully, it's a possibility that they're feeling that way in their home. I will not say that if a child is very quiet, that's because they come from a docile home. And I'll tell you why. My mother is a very soft-spoken person. The only time my mother speaks over a very soft tone is when she was raising us and yelling. And people would be like, oh my goodness, that's Sister Poole screaming like that? Yeah, because she was yelling at her kids. Yeah, because the youngest kid, which is me, was crazy. I didn't grow up I didn't grow up in a crazy atmosphere. I was raised very well, had perfect manners. I was raised well. But
I'm not saying that's absolutely the case.
Okay.
It's more than likely the case.
Okay.
It's more than likely the case. If you see you say you work with kids. I work with kids.
I'm always around kids.
Okay, and I am too. And you can almost tell the dynamic of what's going on in their home based on this child's behavior. You could almost hit it right on the head. Now, not in all cases. Let's be very clear. Not in all cases. But 8 out of 10 times, you're going to be right. I mean, let's just talk a fact here. 8 out of 10 times, you're going to be right. And you're right in the sense that it's not always, it's not 100%. It's not 100%. But 8 out of 10 times, you can tell what's going on in this child's house.
And I will agree with you that, yeah, you can get some pointers. the one thing I will tell you, especially if you go to church, don't be talking about nobody, because them Sunday school teachers hit it all. Okay? All right? One Sunday, we're in a huddle before we start children's church. Okay? Who wants to pray? I do. Okay. Honey, you can pray. God, bless us today that we will learn, and I hope that my mother starts liking Sister Yvonne again. Like, what? And that she stopped thinking she cute. Amen. Huh?
Yeah, I get it. I understand clearly.
You know, so kids will definitely tell all your business. So don't talk so freely around your kids either, because they're like their little chatterboxes. They're like their own little recording session, and you never know when the play button's going to hit. Now, I just gave you a for instance. Is that a word, a for instance? I gave you an example. But stuff like this does happen. It really does. You know, kids come home and say, well, I heard Mrs. So-and-so. You know, it may not even be you. It could be another adult. Your kid goes to somebody's house to spend the night, and another adult is throwing their mouth out there. You have to be careful what you say. Don't talk freely around your children, because they're going to repeat it.
Okay, I get it. Now you did two don'ts.
Okay, now do two.
Let's do a do.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna do a do. Just let's cut down the traffic to your home. Cut down the traffic to your home.
Yeah.
Now, how do you do that, might you ask? Just like you let your baby think that you are absolutely nuts. You gotta let your baby's friends know that you are absolutely nuts. It's okay for them to feel like they can get their ass beat at the house at any time. It's okay to know that your friend thinks that they can get snapped on at any time. All those video game dates, all that stuff. I'm not going to Mr. Epps' house. Oh, Mr. Epps is crazy. They don't want to come over here. Listen, my mother was notoriously known for spanking the whole block. If you acted up at 125 North Fleet Lane, you was getting it too, and she was telling your mama that she did it. Okay, so you need to let your friends, just like you need to let your child believe that you're nuts, you also need to let your friends, your children's friends, know that you're absolutely nuts.
Okay, I have to say an amen and a hallelujah on that. And I'll tell you why. I was the kid. Stone Boulevard has to be at least over a quarter of a mile. It was nothing on a Saturday for me to get whipped all the way down that block and then get home. And because Miss Sarah had to pop me, I got it again. I transferred that over to my daughter, and I would let everybody know. When you are up in here, what happens in my house happens in my house. If you do what my daughter does, if I'm punching her in her temple, you're going to get punched in yours.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you as a parent have a problem with somebody else reprimanding your child?
No, I do not, because most adults aren't going to reprimand your child unless they're doing something really ridiculous. Because what's going to happen is that, okay, your daughter is Shelby, right? Shelby comes over to play with Jill, and Shelby throws the doll. And I'll be like, Shelby, don't throw the doll. Okay, Miss Yvonne, I won't. Now, Shelby throws the doll again. Shelby, didn't I tell you not to throw that doll? Yes, Miss Yvonne. Okay, Shelby throws the doll again, throw it again. I'm going to bust your head wide open. I'm going to knock all the water out your eyes, your teeth out your mouth, and you're limping out of here. You hear me, Shelby? Yes, Miss Yvonne. And Shelby going to go sit down somewhere.
Now, Shelby decides to come back and tell me, right? Now, let's flip it. Jill, I say that to Jill. Jill goes back and tells you. How are you going to react when Jill tells you that Mrs. Epps said she gonna bust her in the head?
Okay. Hey, girl. Hey. Yeah, this is Yvonne. What happened that Jill needed her head busted? You see, it's different than, okay, I'm going to her house.
Yes, that's okay. So you're going to have an adult conversation.
Yes, there's a reason why. There's a reason why she chastised my daughter. If she didn't like my daughter, she would not have allowed her to come to our house.
Now, understand what you're saying now, because that's the same exact thing that I'm saying about the school. It's the same exact thing I'm saying about the school. The school ain't going to chastise your child.
Your house is a little bit
suspend your child for nothing.
But your house is a little bit more private and intimate. The people that's coming to my to my home, my child likes, and she interacts with, I know their parents, and we're okay usually. Going to school, you have to understand one thing. Teachers and hall aides and all of them are human. And if they don't like your kid, trust me, I don't care if your kid says nothing, they're going to find something to pick on them with. I know that from me going to school, and I know that from my daughter, but we're going to break, and when we come back, I'm going to explain to you why an adult can just be stanking to a kid. We're going to commercial break, but make sure you don't leave, that you're here when we come back. You want to hear this next segment. You have been listening to He Said, She Said.
First Insurance presents an observational moment. This is called mumble rap, which is why we're here to help translate. Yo, 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 when it comes to renter's insurance, First Insurance has the largest local claims staff with a 97% satisfaction rating. Pretty dope, huh? Auto, home, or renters, First Insurance makes it right. Call your independent agent or visit FICOH.com.
Nature's spring water, naturally refreshing, naturally thirst quenching. Fresh spring water, purified. Nature's spring water, oh so right. Nature's spring water, oh so right.
Years ago, the family doctor was someone who came to your home. And while that practice has faded into memory, there is someone who keeps the tradition of personal health care alive. Your local Health Mart pharmacist knows you by name, not by refill number. Stop by your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy and see how the tradition of personal health care lives on. Visit healthmart.com for the location near you. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
There's nothing more challenging than dealing with the loss of a loved one. There's so many decisions to be made, so many arrangements to be handled, and it's really hard, especially if you've got to do it alone. Let the team at Undertaking Alternatives Funeral and Cremation Services help you during your time of grief. The professional, courteous, and caring staff is there to help with your needs. Visit their website, www.undertakingalternatives.com, or give them a call at 631-413-9664 for a consultation.
You love chocolate.
Chocolate.
You love M&Ms.
Oh, yes.
But your tastes have grown up, and you're just not wild about super sweet milk chocolate, so you've been avoiding M&Ms.
Yeah.
Well, fear no more.
Huh?
M&M's Dark Chocolate to the rescue.
My heroes.
M&M's Dark Chocolate Candies. Available wherever fine candies are sold.
Round 4.
And welcome back. Welcome back to He Said, She Said. I'm Noel Epps from Not Just Sports by Noel Epps. And my co-host is... Go ahead, darling.
Yvonne, darling? Yvonne, the motivated man from Determined Women of Death.
Run with it, girl.
Listen, I'm telling you, I am. And we're back with, we're going to really hash this out about your children and adults and how, adults' behavior may not always be the best behavior. And your children may be responding to them in such a way. Before we went on break, I was discussing how, teachers and people in school, because Noel brought up the school environment, they're human too. And just like adults don't like other adults, they're around your kids all the time, and they may not like your children because of whatever. Your child may have done something, your child didn't do something. They just don't like them. And just like adults are petty to adults, they can be petty to children. Only thing I can go on is what I've had to experience. Like I said, my daughter was a hard case in school, and there was one teacher, happened to be Black, and she felt it was so funny to mess up my daughter's name every single day, had the class laughing at her, to the point where my daughter said, "Mommy, listen," she had to admit, "I'm not the best student, but every day, do I have to have the whole class laughing at me? And then all day long, everybody wants to tease me?" So I had to listen to her, and I said, "What's going on?" Well, the teacher says, she calls the roll, she calls attendance. She says, "Oh, Julian or Jew or whatever your name is," and everybody starts laughing. I said, "Okay, I handle it." Parent-teacher conference. She's sitting there telling me how horrible my child is, and maybe she shouldn't take Spanish, and yada, 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 yada. And I said to her, "You have some good points there. My daughter's not doing what she's supposed to do in your class." "Well, I'm glad we agree." I said, "Well, I hope we agree on this also. You've been teasing my daughter. You've been tearing her name up. You have the whole class laughing at her, and you're condoning that. So just like when she does something wrong, she has to apologize. Guess what you're getting ready to do right now?" So before she apologized, I explained to my daughter, everybody gets 15 seconds of fame. This is yours. Number 16, you getting ready to go through hell. And yes, she did for the rest of the school year, because her mama came up there and made that teacher apologize. But the teacher did it. Wait a minute. The teacher did it on purpose. The teacher felt she had a right, because my daughter was disturbing her class. Instead of disciplining her, she made a mockery of her, and you can't do that. That you can't do. Because anybody that knows me knows that I would discipline my child if they told me. I'm not going to let that just happen. So
I agree and I disagree. I agree that the teacher needs to have a little bit more professionalism. Let's just say that.
A whole lot
more professionalism. But like you said, the teacher is a human being. Okay, so like me, I'm a human being, and I'm also kind of a funny dude, and I don't feel sorry for the child that's in there and misbehaving. I just don't feel sorry for that child. You can't be picked. It's 180, I forget how much, 180, 160 days in the school year. You can't be a bad kid for 100 days and then 60 days you in your for 6 days you in your feelings. Like, you can't do that. If you want to dish it out, you better be able to take it. But again, let me finish. Again, you're right. She's the adult. She has to show a little bit more professionalism, but I can understand why the teacher is doing that.
Right. You can understand it, but you shouldn't even have to understand it. It shouldn't have been done. And that's the reason why the behavior was bad, because instead of rising to the occasion of the adult with authority and doing what you're supposed to do, you was a petty little black girl, and you decided to pick on another little black girl. Now we're gonna go past this because I'm gonna get mad all over again.
Okay, so let's do it though. Let's do it do. Sorry. Let's do it do. Let's do it do. Let's do it do. Let's do it do. I'm gonna do it do. Let's learn to set boundaries for your children. Set boundaries for your children.
Yes.
Teach your child that it's okay for them to hear the word no. No, you can't have those sneakers. No, you can't go to that party. Yes, you can get these sneakers. Yes, you can play this video game, but you can play this video game at this point in time. You can't play all day. Set boundaries for your kids, because guess what? When they leave your home, when they leave school, it's an ugly world out there. It's a tough world out there with a whole bunch of boundaries. And as black men especially, you better learn to set boundaries for your black men, or they are going to struggle. They're going to struggle. Now, a boundary does not mean it's a roadblock. A boundary means it's a hurdle. That means you could go over it, you could go around it. You just got to figure out a way to do it.
Now, you said that we have to set boundaries for our children. If you were never taught about boundaries, you can't set them. Just like you said, your mother said, I want to see creases in your pants, but there was no iron. But you knew there was supposed to be creases. So you guys slept on those pants to make sure that they had creases, because that's what your mother expected. The kids we have now, they act like nobody expects anything out of them. And I'm not saying all of them, because luckily for me, I'm around a whole lot of super duper, really good kids doing what they're supposed to do. Now, there are some kids that I have been around that I said to myself, who raised these children willoughbys? Because that's how, that's how they act. You're saying set boundaries, something as simple as teaching your child how to eat appropriately.
Oh my good, but guess what? We don't eat as a family no more. We don't eat as a unit anymore. We used to have dinner time. Dinner time means we're sitting at a table, the whole family sitting at a table, and we're eating.
There goes your boundary.
We don't do that anymore. Again, the boundary was the block. We don't have neighborhoods anymore.
That's right.
You couldn't act up in Lee and Louise' yard. If it snowed, Lee and Louise, somebody gonna shovel Lee and Louise' yard. Like these kids today, and it's not the kids, it's the parents. Because America has made it where we are scared to be parents. You're scared to be parents because these kids have Google, and they can Google CPS and all types of alphabets and initials, and they Google for nothing. Now you got these people at your house. And my mother used to say, here's the phone number, call them.
That's right. I dare you to call them. I dare you to call them. Because guess what? They're going to come here and they're going to need the paddy wagon and they're going to need the ambulance. Because they're going to have to take me away and they're going to have to pick up your dead body, and the person who decided to come here going to die too.
And that was real for us.
That's right. Everybody going to die today.
That was real for us.
My mom used
to say too, what happens in this house stays in this house.
My mom used to say something that I carried over to my daughter, and I probably will carry over to my grandchildren. Every time you walk out this door, 10 people are looking at you. 5 of them know me personally, and the other 5 know 5 people that know me personally. So number 1, I'm going to hear about your junk. And number 2, if I do and it's not right, you're in trouble. So when you walked out of the house, you did not want to embarrass your parents. Kids don't care now about embarrassing their parents. There's places I go now because of my mom and my dad. My behavior is not bad. I'm an adult, but I'm on my best behavior because my parents, my father is dead. I can go to Firestone in the village and still get 20% off my tires. My father will be dead 21 years because that's the legacy he left.
Right. And my kids are afraid to embarrass me because the chicletas, wife beaters, basketball shorts, and no drawers. They know that's how I roll. They know I'm popping up like that. But guess what, Yvonne?
We got to get out of here.
We got to get out of here.
Okay, well, you know what? Thank you, everybody, for listening to He Said, She Said on Rudy Radio. I'm Yvonne, the Motivator Man. This crazy guy over here is...
I'm Noel Epps from Not Just Sports by Noel Epps every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. right here on Facebook.
Listen, we thank you so much again. As always, we leave out of here laughing because we crack ourselves up. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to like.
Thank you for your support, by the way, everybody. Your support has been incredible. Thank you.
And your comments. Rudy J. Breedy is our creative director. And we want you to come back next week. Don't miss a week, because we'll miss you. And as always, have a blessed day, and we'll see you the next episode. Bye.